Hello, Aussie. Greetings from me here in Wellington, New Zealand, just to be confusing. It is a grey day today, so I've got my desk lamp on, ready and excited. This is the highlight of my week. I don't know if that sounds like hyperbole. Been in a lot of meetings, but I keep anticipating this moment, which for me happens on a Friday after lunch, and it is just an honor to be here and to be bringing this to you. And I'm also excited. I'm pumped, actually. I'm going to use that word. I'm pumped. I've been talking about writing a book, and I have just announced that on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I think I have a working title now. So I wanted to mention that to you and see what you think. Feel free to use the chat to drop a comment if you have a view on it. I would love to know your reactions. And it is Style Deep, Loving Who You Are Through Personal Style. Hello, if we don't know each other, my name is Nina. I'm known as the Executive Stylist, and I give women in leadership the power of style that feels aligned with who they are and with their future, where they're going. The purpose of this live today is to talk about these gorgeous ideas of finding your most powerful style 3 ways. And at the end, I'll share how you can work with me to bring the power of style to your life and work. And I'll stay to answer your questions and respond to your comments. Let me tell you about a lady I met not too long ago in the course of this. Jenna, not her real name, was an accomplished executive. And this is really just to give you a picture of the woman. This is also not a real picture of her, but something for us to imagine. And she is a real woman, but she is an accomplished executive, respected for her intellect and her ability to lead her team through quite complex challenges in a male-dominated industry. And she was being increasingly seen in the media. But despite that success, she felt uninspired by her wardrobe, and her mornings were a struggle. She told me there was nothing that she felt excited about. She stood before her closet staring at a row of dull outfits that didn't all fit anymore and just didn't reflect the powerhouse woman that she knew she had become. She knew that her clothes mattered. She could feel that the energy in the room lifted when she dressed well, and she knew that the way her team responded to her was different, so that there was a subtle shift, a subtle positive shift in body language from them and from her colleagues that showed it was really undeniable that her style sent a message. So, but yeah, at this point, the point that we met, the message wasn't the one that she wanted to send. Instead of exuding that confidence and authority, she felt small in her clothes. She felt that they were tired. She felt they really didn't reflect her, and she knew it was time to take control of that narrative. So we did work together. We did change that narrative for her, and she stepped into outfits that aligned with her personal brand, which was really her personality. She's in an organization rather than in a business, and enhanced her presence with only a few hours of her time. And by the end of that, she felt energized and inspired with a renewed sense of control over how she showed up in the world. And I wonder if there are parts of her story that you resonate with. Perhaps you have recently realized that your clothes aren't quite right. It would be really great to know. I've put the numbers there, A, B, and C, so you don't need to write too much. And after the live, if people were reading those comments, they wouldn't really know what they meant. So it's a nice way to be a little bit anonymous, except for the people who are here with us right now, that perhaps you've realized that your clothes aren't quite right, and that's been recent. You might have recently audited your collection. Perhaps you are feeling at this point that you've moved on and your wardrobe hasn't quite kept pace. You're no longer excited about what's in your wardrobe. That would be option B. Or perhaps you are looking for an easier, more enjoyable shopping experience because shopping has been overwhelming, perhaps, or I hear that so often, or hard to choose pieces when you're there, or you end up buying things that aren't quite right. And so all those feelings are the opposite of feeling powerful in your style. And at the same time, powerful. Oh, great. We've got someone, Megan, blue. It's a blue day, a day for deeper focus. I love that. That association between blue and thinking is very real. There's psychology around blue. Love it. Thank you for that. These experiences we've just described about how we can feel towards clothes when we're not feeling powerful about them is obviously the opposite of what we want. But powerful style is even more than that. And it is three things. It is personally aligned, because the style that aligns with you, with who you actually are, is the style that you carry best. It's the style that brings you no stress and makes it easy for you to perform at your best in the world and for others to understand you at a glance. There are so many reasons why aligned personal style is so powerful. We all deserve that. And it is also workflow affirming. And there's this incredible research being done that you may have come across called enclosed cognition, which proves and has been quoted in hundreds of other studies, has shown and has been retested and shown that the clothes that we wear affect our capacity for focus or our capacity for creativity. And a lot of that is linked to the role that we see ourselves playing at that time, or the association that we have with those clothes. So clothes can affirm our workflow. And we all know that if we're turning up, especially in a leadership role, people are looking. And the context that we turn up into is going to shape the outfit that we want to wear on the day. It's quite different attire that you might wear to an offsite than you would wear to presenting or doing a town hall. And so we know that the context that we're working within is everything as well. And style that doesn't allow you to be aligned and affirm your work and would be situationally unaware is not going to be powerful style either. So if style ticks all of those three boxes, I'd love to hear for you whether that sounds like style that would be powerful. And it's certainly something I've done a bit of thinking on. So I'm always happy to talk about it and see what feels powerful to you. A little bit of background about me. And I've been doing this since 2017. Oh, look, I can use a little cursor here. I certified as a stylist then, and I've had hundreds of clients since then. And I've focused on building tools and insights that are going to give people the way to style themselves that even goes beyond what a stylist would normally do. So most stylists have developed their eye, you would hope. Often they've come from a background in retail. I come from a background in science and consulting. And I give you the science of styling, the tools to make it work for you. And that's really the basis of the work that we're looking at today, is this approach thinking, what are the ideas, what are the tools that we can use that make style work for us, regardless of who we are and whether we've had that chance to develop our eye. So my 3 favorite ways to find your most powerful style is the focus. And it's about answering that question. How can we get you to that point where you feel that you've found your style? The absolute best way, easiest way, fastest way to do it is to work with me. I'll tell you more about that at the end, or you can set up a call using the Let's Chat link on my profile. But there is a step before finding your style, which I feel you really need to know about. I hear a lot of clients say that they're lost in their style, they're not sure what to buy, and it's a lot to deal with. So I'm really hoping that by breaking it down, you can decide where you need to start. And one of those key things that you need to know is that finding your style is actually step 2, if you like. The first step is really just feeling good in styles. Feeling good, feeling that your body has been dressed well in styles. So I'll show you a little bit more about what I mean by that. And it's really saying, okay, these women might all feel great in what they're wearing. We don't know. Maybe they're very personally aligned with it, but the point is that there's a body shape piece and there's the colors piece that comes before even we think about that personality alignment. And so, yeah, feeling that you've got to that stage where you say, this is really me, you can't have that if you're not wearing colors that flatter you, that harmonize, that feel aligned and that make you look your best, that don't make you look tired. And you can't have it if you're not wearing clothes that bring out that balance and that harmony in your figure as well. So that's why I'm saying there's 2 basics really, and we're talking about finding your style. It's a good question to ask yourself now. Are you thinking about feeling good in style full stop, or the next step of finding your style? I guess to clarify what this finding your style means as an example, where I shopped with two clients locally, and the stores here, I know the stores quite well, and there isn't the same range that you would find in a city like Sydney or LA or a really huge city. So it wasn't that uncommon to find myself in the same store with a client not that long after I had been in one, been there previously. And I remember shopping in person with these two clients, and they had very similar body shape, very similar colors. And the two of them had opposite reactions to the exact same garment. One loved it and one hated it. So if I had styled each woman according to only her body shape and her colors, then she would be in outfits that she doesn't enjoy and that she wouldn't carry that well. Whereas if we tap into what she loves, what she enjoys, what she feels really aligned with, that becomes powerful. And we have this caricature that powerful style is like the woman here, that it's red jackets and bright colors, things that catch the eye in our mind, that that's what powerful style is. But truly powerful style is actually style that's aligned with who we are personally, affirming of our workflow, and it's aware of our environment. So these three ways that we'll talk about now are the quickest, most direct path to a clear view if you're not working with me. And one of them, in fact, all of them I build into my process. So the first is to look at your inspirations and influences, and feel free, if you have questions, drop them in. I'm checking over there. You're welcome to do that anytime. Your inspirations and influences. So what do I mean by that? These are questions that I ask on the introductory interview. And for you, I really recommend that you see all of these as visual exercises. And you want to do a visual exercise that you then turn into words. And you'll write a sentence, or you'll end up with a product, words that you can use to shop with. So it's really important to have that pairing of both the images and the words that go with it. And the first question you might want to ask yourself is, are there any women in the media that you are inspired by with regard to how they dress? And if you say yes to that, then you want to collect visuals into a mood board. Pinterest is fantastic for it. It's so easy to get to search and just grab something and pull it over to a board and have a collection of images there. And what you'll do is, once you've collected a few, then you'll step back and you'll have a look at what are the themes that are going on in this mood board. Another great question to ask is, are there any specific eras in fashion, for example, the 20s, that you have been drawn to? And what is it about that era? And see if you can find images that you love from that era and drop them on your mood board as well. And then ask yourself another question. This is a great one because it's so easy with women in the media and with TV characters to find pictures and to bring them into your mood board. So that's the question. Do you have any TV characters whose style you love? And then the cool thing about TV characters is that there's a costume designer behind the scenes who is keeping a consistent look and feel for that character. And I've often had people say, "Oh, I just love, I love the style from someone on Suits, for example." And then now those are your three questions for this inspirations activity. And you might then look back at those themes and come up with a summary statement, something like, and this is similar to one of my clients, international diversity inspired by femininity. It's like a summary statement that says, this is what I feel is really going on with my style. Or it might be something like colorful individuality, or it might be sharp lines and intense details, or you might just have some way of describing your style that you put words around. And really the options are endless. And like I said, all of these are both visual and verbal. And then the second way, and this works together with the third way, is to do the same thing where you collect images of outfits that you love together in one place. And it's important that you're asking, do I love the look of this? Not would I wear this? So what's different this time is that you were looking outside at media and TV and eras. And this time you're looking again outside, but you may be more inclined to think, but would I wear it? And it's the typical thing that I end up teasing out with women I'm working with, is that we're wanting, and it's really hard to do, is that you want to separate out the style or the taste of the look from whether you would actually wear it, and just try to put that aside and think, no, it's actually about, do I love the look? Do I love it on her? Not would I wear it? And then you'll end up with something that looks a little bit like this. So this is a snapshot of just part of my inspirations board. And I show you this with a caveat. Importantly, it is not how I will style you. So I have a quite strong creative slant to my style, and you may or may not. And many of these outfits, I haven't worn anything like them exactly, but I just love them. I love the way they look. So together they are providing a basis for me to be able to have some mental reference points for what I love and for my own style. And having that sentence in your head can be really powerful, because when you shop, you can then think, does this create a look that conveys my, for me, European individualism? That's where I've landed on as my sentence. And then there's a third way that works with this, and I'd love to hear so far whether there's, great, Christy, thank you, would wear a sheath or a suit. Amazing, fantastic. So you could see how you could get that to work in your style, and knowing something about your looks is key. You reminded me, I was going to say that there's not always, that we often can get stuck on, oh, am I a pants person or a trousers person, or am I a skirts and dresses person? And you're wanting with this exercise to get even higher level than that, than to not get stuck on the features and the silhouettes and the shapes, the colors, etc., but really just to go from that instinctive, I love it, that's something I love, this is a great piece that the taste feels right for me. So yeah, so just kind of coming back out of that third way, style essence keywords, it builds on the second way, and this is where we're putting words around themes, and we're coming up with a set of words that you can use for your own style shopping and your own styling. And the keywords are really the ultimate. The keywords are the ultimate because they, I think, are the most powerful. Literally, when I'm shopping for a client, I'll be in store thinking relaxed, effortless, chic. And this was me just a couple of days ago, and great shopping experience. I was shopping with a lady who wanted pre-loved clothes because we worked together quite a bit to establish some cornerstone looks for her. So she had lots of space for complementary pieces to come in, and was just ready for something different, some different silhouettes, some different materials, some different fun things that she wouldn't have expected. We've previously got an amazing piece for her from this one recycled pre-loved store, and we went back there. And after my pre-shop, I think I had about 5 things to show her, and she bought every one of them because they were all gorgeous. And they were all gorgeous on her, and they gave her that incredible aligned feeling. And I was literally, as I'm shopping, I know her body shape, I know her colors, but the mantra going through my head, the repeating refrain, constantly keeping me focused on something that's going to work for her, is relaxed, effortless, chic. And I'm looking at this garment thinking, does it create a look, or is it a look in itself that is going to be relaxed, effortless, and chic? So it is that powerful. I think that's why the keywords are the ultimate. Mine are European, street smart, and pretty. And I can't get around the fact that I like a bit of pretty. I fought that for a while, but I like a bit of pretty. And these are actual words that my clients have come up with. And that's important, that distinction between that I've given my clients or that my clients come up with is really important. I wanted to just hone in on that for a second, that you might look at these and think that you like that one, or you like this one, or you like that one. And people come to me with concepts like classic or elegant or feminine or casual, and they've heard these words and there's something about them that they like, and that's brilliant. At the same time, once we go through this process, we end up with words that are much more personal and much more refined to them, that they feel so much more connected to. They can see that these words came from their own taste. They're not being picked from someone else's taste. And there is only one you. Your most powerful style is your aligned, gorgeous style that feels fantastic for you to wear. So when you know that you're stepping into your style, it's incredibly empowering. You're not trying to be something, you're not trying to, meet the fashion doyens' expectations or follow any rules out there. You are styling for your own day and for your own experience, and because it feels fantastic to you. So that's why I really recommend doing the Style Essence keywords from the pictures, not taking words from other places and thinking there's a bit of this, a bit of that that might work for me. You really want to build your own keywords up from scratch. And when you do that, look for 3. 2 is too few and 4 is too many. 3 is the sweet spot. And anyone who's done human-centered design or any design training knows that there's a real art to having the right level of specificity when you have an open question about how might we achieve X, Y, and Z. And I can give you that tip that 3 keywords is just right, having tried all combinations. So there are your 3 most powerful ways to find your most powerful style. I'm twisting on the title there, but 3 ways to find your most powerful style: your inspirations and influences, your outfit inspirations, and your style essence keywords. And keep in mind, you always want that complementary relationship between the pictures, a set of pictures, and then words and how you would describe them, whether that's going to be a sentence, a statement, or your keywords. Any questions, feel free to throw them in and I will stay and answer those. And I'll also let you know how you could work with me and what we'll be covering next week. I have a very exciting package on at the moment for doing a LinkedIn launch special. And I'm going to be delighted to serve whoever comes through with this one, because in 7 weeks, you end up with a completed collection and a brilliant new wardrobe, and it's really reasonable. In terms of your investment, a good way to keep in mind is roughly you spend about the same amount on clothes as you might spend on styling. People spend less, people spend more, but that gives you a whole an idea of your total investment. Your total time investment would be 7 to 10 hours. And there's also the option to do a power session where you just get your keywords and we do that together. So if you would like to access the skill of coaching you through that, helping you to see what's going on with the images and knowing what kinds of themes make sense in terms of that background around different personality traits, etc., then you are welcome to contact me for the payment link for that. Direct message on LinkedIn is probably the best way, or Facebook, or you can comment on the live, of course. And anytime you're welcome to message me for more information or to set up a call. And that again is by the Let's Chat statement in my LinkedIn profile. There's a link there that just says Let's Chat, apply for a call. Next week, we'll be looking at why style is not frivolous and just addressing the power of style in a different way. So why style is not frivolous for female executives. I'd love to hear any questions you have about that. And I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for joining me. Oh, and there's a couple of comments in there, Christy. Thank you. Awesome. And these brands and places to shop. And how about online? Yeah, I love it. Great question. So these are I think that I think we're going back to this one. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's pops where your question popped up. So once you have your keywords, your next task then is to find the brands that you feel really align with your keywords. And these are not brands specifically, but in terms of places to shop, yeah, that's a whole other conversation. I do have a YouTube video on that, Christy. So drop me a message. I can send you the link to that if that's helpful. I'd be curious to know. And I'm always interested to know what people are keen to learn more of. and keen to see a live on and open to your feedback on that. That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your afternoon, or your morning, wherever you're joining me from. See you again soon. Great. Thanks, Megan. Amazing.